Okay, we'll get started now. Thank you for those of you that are on the call and for being part of this meeting. Like I said, we'd like to do these once a month. This is for all of our coaches in the club. I spent some time to make some slides to just talk about things that I think would help everybody just be great coaches and make this a good experience for their kids and also make you better as a coach. So that is the purpose of this meeting today, and thanks for being part of it. All right, quick things. We'll just do a couple of announcements, get these out of the way, and then we'll get to the training. So first, we've planned all of our summer camps, and they're already up for registration. They are available in Huntington Beach, in that area. We have camps in St. George. Those are going to be indoor only. And then we have summer camps in Lehigh. And as of now, we just have beach only. So we need a lot of help this summer. I know the hours are different. The hours are going to be during the mornings and early afternoons usually, because that's we just kind of follow when the kids are out of school. So I'll be sending out signups, and hopefully you can get you guys will get priority, obviously, since you're coaching now. But I will, just like years past, open it up to college students that are home for the summer or others that are looking for summer work. We are in search of a new beach tournament director in Huntington Beach. So contact me if you're interested. This is maybe once a month on a Saturday. We never do them on Sunday. And this would be at our Huntington State Beach location, and you would run those tournaments. Really fun job. It takes a lot of organizational skills, multitasking, and just executing a planned event on site. Let's see. We also are looking for a Sunday adult beach coach, and this is also in Huntington Beach. Those classes start in March, and those are just on the mornings. So we got a handful of adults that want training, and our last coach just unfortunately quit a couple weeks ago, so we're in need of someone to take over that. Reminder, let's make sure we take care of the gyms that we rent. Remember, we are renters, we are visitors at these facilities, and so we need to treat them like our own. So after, take that extra step, go around, pick up some trash, or better yet, remind your kids to pick up after themselves and put that trash in the trash can. If there's other things you see, clean it up. If some chairs are out of sync, put them back. If someone leaves a water bottle or someone leaves a sweatshirt, which happens almost all the time, just keep them and bring them for the next practice. So just a reminder to take care of our gyms. We work really hard to get these contracts with these facilities, and we want to make sure we are in their good graces and we can continue to rent from them. We want to welcome 3 new coaches. We have Trin, which is an assistant coach for one of our California teams. Preston, he is also a clinic instructor in California. And then Rihanna, that is a new assistant coach in St. George. So welcome, guys. I'm glad you're here. I sent out an email last week just reminding everyone of all the resources that you have as coaches to better your craft. So we have the Art of Coaching. I've been working a lot on getting videos up for our YouTube page. And one reason I'm doing that is I got some feedback, especially from California, that they'd like to see more of how I teach things. So it's the time is limited, being able to get there, especially with 17. I think we have 18 teams in the club this year. I'm coaching a team We're also running tournaments in St. George. So I can't come to California all the time. And I wanted to create virtual lessons that would be as if I was in your gym showing you how I like things taught. So those are up now for your disposal to look at any time to see how I like to teach things and certain drills I like to run. And I will be adding a lot more to that in the weeks to come. We have the Coach's Insider, which is also another YouTube-esque, but focused on volleyball. We have our Beach Elite system, which is a Google Doc that I share with all of you. If you need permission to view that, just let me know. We also have these monthly developmental meetings, and we'll continue these throughout the club season. And then finally, you can contact me anytime. I know some of you I've reached out to kind of set up some consulting times, either by weekly or once a month, to where we can call each other and just talk shop, see how your team's doing, see how I can help you. Finally, thanks for all your hard work, for what you're doing. This is quite a job and quite a task that we're asked to do of mentoring these young athletes and to teach them volleyball at a high level. This is really quick. This is just a snapshot of all of the teams in the club, if you're curious. California, we've got our 6 teams going on right now. We're starting developmental teams, hopefully, in a few weeks. And so we'd add another team there. St. George, we have 5 teams currently going. Spring season is starting in a few weeks as well, so we might add a couple more there. Hilldale, Utah, which is about 45 minutes outside of St. George. We're excited that those teams are going well. We have 2 teams there, and then in Salt Lake City we have 5. So topics this month for our training. We're going to talk about rules at practice. I'm going to teach you about the vitamins, and then I'm going to share some drills that you'll do when you're sharing a court with another team, because we know sometimes that happens. In California, that I think that happens more. In Utah, it's not that often, but it does happen in northern Utah. And so this is here are some ideas of how we can utilize that time wisely when we're sharing. All right, first of all, rules at practice. Your practices are everything, okay? Because however you practice, that's how you're going to compete. So we can't expect to have just low-level practices that aren't teaching what we need to teach, and then expect going into a tournament or a scrimmage, and then all of a sudden just doing it the right way, or the higher level way. So your practices are very important, how you structure them. So as you see here, the first thing is you need to set rules and boundaries at your practice. This is your classroom and you're the teacher. I always tell my kids, I'm like, this is a class. The only difference is we don't have a desk. We have a volleyball and a net. And this is the most fun class they'll have, because this is something they all want to do. And so as their teacher, it is very important that you let your kids know what you expect out of them. I'm saying this now, but it was also brought up at the beginning of the season when you had your first practices. But I know we've had a couple changes in some teams to where we've had new coaches take over. So for you, this is a good time to jump on this. Make it you could just sit down with them and practice and go over your rules. I'm going to tell you some generic rules that I would like for your teams, and then I will share some rules of my team, and you're free to adopt these onto yours. But the point is, you need to set rules and boundaries. Kids and parents both respect you more when those things are in place. Come with a lesson plan. Make sure you have it written out. You can put it on your iPhone. I do it on the Notes app. Sometimes I'll write it down, on a piece of paper, and I will tape it to the pull pad on the volleyball court. So the kids can see it, assistant coach can see it, I can see it, or I'll have it on my phone. Warm-ups, make sure your team is warm. We don't want any injuries. So as they're doing their short court or anything they're doing to warm up before practice starts, make sure they're just taking it slow. Conditioning. If your practices run well, your whole practice can have plenty of conditioning. If you're not running a higher tempo practice where the ball is moving a lot and the girls or boys are moving constantly, then yeah, I think that warrants some time to have some conditioning. And my rule is I spend no more than 10 minutes if you need to do just straight conditioning. This is, I mean, you put the balls away, you can put cones down, you can put ladders down, you have kids jump on the bleachers, anything like that. Because if you want to do just straight conditioning, for 30-40 minutes, we don't need to have you on a volleyball court. That time is very valuable, and that needs to be used for tournament like drills and not conditioning. Conditioning, you could go down to the beach courts that we have. If you're in Huntington, St. George, you can go down to the Little Valley courts and do conditioning. Salt Lake, we are limited on how much time we can go outside depending on the time of year. But in the spring, summer, fall, you could go out and do conditioning at our beach courts in Lehigh. This one's very important to me. Run game-like drills. I gave you guys all a link, and I think I sent this to the local directors who can send out to the coaches. But this link is just some more ideas on that topic. Stay away from movements and drills that don't translate to gameplay. I understand, with conditioning, that's different, but I don't believe in having your kids, run around a cone, jump over somebody that's lying down and spin around and then hit the ball. That's just, you don't do that in a game. So we want to do things that are like a game. For example, I have a kick out drill that I just put on our YouTube where I do put a cone for the left back. So after they pass the wall, they have to kick out past that cone and then attack the ball. So that cone just serves as a reminder for them to kick out to the outside of the court. So let's stay away from things that don't really translate to gameplay. Keep the tempo up. You want to be loud and authoritative, but in a positive way. Make sure that voice is up. Make sure your kids can hear you. Make sure they know that you're running it and not them. So you gotta be delicate with that. Still, you can still be very positive, very happy, very loving, but also be very firm and keep that tempo up. Keep the tempo up by keeping the ball moving and keeping it exciting. Compliment your players. When you have to fix a negative habit or attitude, start and end with something positive, like the sandwich method. So you start with something positive, in the middle you fix the behavior or the attitude or the skill, and then follow it up with something positive. The ball is the best teacher, not your voice. So when I go into the gym, I don't want to see a coach just lecturing their kids about how to pass a ball when there's very little time for them to practice passing the ball. So you might have to, put your phone or put your watch on a timer and just time yourself. So, all right, I'm just going to mention, once my timer goes off, we're going to do the drill. So if you find yourself just rambling on and on about a skill or a drill, you need to tighten that up. they're not there for a lecture. They're there to practice. And remember, the ball is the best teacher, not you. So let the ball teach them how to do things. And if a player needs extra help, you can just pull them aside and work with them during the drill. Make your practices a fun, happy, positive, and safe place for your players. I think more than ever, just with the onslaught of social media and a lot of kids just feeling this loneliness, this depression, this anxiety, they need a place that's positive and safe for them. And we want coaches that will harbor that in their practices. So I urge you to just make your places, make your practices a place that they want to be. When my players come in, they're happy. We're high-fiving, we're talking, we're a family, and it is so rewarding to just have that family spirit at a practice. Parents are always invited, and at times they're encouraged to observe practice, but are not allowed to talk to you or the team. I put that part encouraged. Sometimes they're encouraged, because if you have a parent, call you about, Jenny that's, struggling and not getting a lot of playing time or things like that, don't address the playing time at all, but just invite that parent to come to the practice and to watch and see why maybe she's not playing as much. Maybe she is, maybe she's not paying attention. Maybe she's not trying as hard. Maybe her skill level just isn't where, some of the other girls are. And so she has to earn her play time. So those are some general rules that you need to have at your practice. All right. And now I'm going to do rules at my practice. And again, you are welcome to adopt these. I would encourage you to adopt these, as I would like a lot of our teams being run the same. I greet my players with a smile and a high five or a hello when they walk into the gym. I have good music playing. We have a Costco speaker. We have one almost every location, so you guys are free to use them. And I play just good music, upbeat music. Obviously, I turn it down when needed, and I turn it back up when drilling, and not much instruction is needed. You also have to be aware of the other court, in the gym with that coach. If they don't want as much music, bring the speaker over to your side. If you guys are drilling together, you can agree on when the music should be up and when it's not. If the situation permits, I'll ask players about their day or something specific I know is happening in their lives. This is before practice or after practice. This is not during practice. During practice, it's business. We're learning how to just get better at volleyball. But when they're entering the gym, I'll chat with them and just see how they're doing. Kids love that. They love to know that you care, not just about if you're, winning or losing matches and they're playing well, but just how they're doing in their personal lives. Another rule I have is nets are set up and players are playing short court at least 5 minutes before practice starts. There's only one time this season I had to enforce them not starting on time, and they had to jog. I think I had them jog for 5 minutes straight around the gym because they didn't have the net set up and they weren't practicing. So we want our kids, the second they walk in the gym, putting their stuff down, getting off their phones, and setting up. For those that come into a gym while another practice is finishing up, those kids should be on the court immediately, just peppering with a friend, hitting against the wall, whatever, just touching the ball, playing with it before their practice starts. Let's talk about setup takedown. Coaches should closely supervise. Sorry, I misspelled that. Set up the first few times and takedown to make sure players are doing it correctly. So you want to make sure the equipment is taken care of. You want to make sure they're they're not hurting themselves. Those poles can be, they can be heavy. So for the younger kids, they should be, 2 kids should be carrying those poles. Obviously, you always want to be supervising setup and takedown, but if it's someone's first time or their first few times, you want to closely monitor it. All right. With my practices, I start with a huddle. I start with a huddle, quickly go over announcements and anything else that needs to be discussed. I keep it very brief. We do a team cheer, and then the captain starts their warm-ups. So my warm-up typically is jogging slowly 2 laps around the gym. I don't want them racing. I don't want them sprinting. Again, they're just getting warm. So just jogging is fine. We do a series of backline stretches. If you want suggestions on that, I can let you know what we do. Then the captain has everyone circle up, and we do arm and leg stretches. We have a fun thing. Like I said, I like unity and more just kind of soldier type stuff in my practices. So when they get into a stretch, like right leg out, when they're sitting on the floor, the captain will say the odd number, and then the players will all shout out the even number. They'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. They just go back and forth. And after that, we do stomp, stomp, clap. So when all the girls do it at the same time, it sounds really cool. And there's just something about that just shows that they're one. So when they're doing arm stretches and they're standing, that stomp, stomp will be their feet. So left, right, and then they clap their hands. With leg stretches, the stomp, stomps are usually they'll just do their open, they'll take their palms and hit the floor. So they'll go with their left hand, then right hand, then clap. When we take water breaks, our team always cheers. We do a quick beach elite cheer when we take water breaks. Sometimes the girls will just do water on 2 and 1, 2 water. I like them to just do the beach on 2 cheer. So beach on 2, and then everyone yells 1, 2 beach elite, and they can do a woo or whatever your team likes to do. My girls know they jog to and from their water breaks. They don't walk. Water breaks should only last 30 seconds to 1 minute. My rule in my gym is no cell phones when practice starts and until practice is over, unless there's something they need to do. Like if they need a picture of the rotations, I'll get them out and they'll take a picture with their phone. But these kids have plenty of time to be on their phones outside of practice. So do not allow cell phones to be part of your practice. In my practices, if I see a lack of effort or attitude, I will make my players, I call them candy canes, where it's basically finger push-ups. They can be on their knees and do it, or they can do a full push-up, but they do it on their fingertips. The reason I call them candy canes, because when you do that with the blood, how it flows, it makes your fingers look red and white, like a candy cane. So our kids love that term. So candy canes are just finger push-ups. So I'll make them do those, or I don't usually have them run, but because I'd rather have them have stronger fingers for setting and things like that, and digging with their hands than just running around. So, if there's like some infraction like that, where I see lack of effort or attitude, or I just feel the tempo is low, I'll bring them together after I have them do candy canes, and then we refocus on their goals of practice. And again, please never demean your kids. Just keep it positive. You can still instruct and be assertive and fix behavior, but without being demeaning. Practice time allotment. Now, keep in mind, this can change depending on your team's need, but this is probably a mid-season practice if I feel everything is on par. 5 minutes warm up. 5 to 15 minutes we do vitamins, or we do other warm-up drills. I'll explain what the vitamins are in a minute. 10 to 20 minutes we do serve and pass. If needed, we will add more time. Now, I would think some teams, especially at the beginning of the season, that serve and pass should be a lot longer than that. I know it can get boring, it can get repetitive, but serve and pass is one of the most important skills that a team can do. So add that in there. 50 to 55 minutes, we do other game-like drills. There's just a slew of them. You can focus on blocking, transition. You can focus on a lot of hitting. You can focus on free ball transition. You can focus on rotations, anything like that. And for the last 30, 35 minutes, our teams always scrimmage. We always scrimmage. That is valuable, because that's where they get to play. They get to go through the rotations and do what they're going to do on a Saturday, Sunday, when they show up at a tournament. That is what they're doing. And then as you see my star there, we usually scrimmage 1 to 2 teams a month from other clubs. April is our director in Northern California. She's doing a fantastic job. So much that she has all these great relationships with other clubs, and they're coming to our gym 1 or 2 times a month, or we're going to their gym 1 or 2 times a month, and we're just playing other clubs. So I think in California, we could do a lot better with that. Getting those scrimmages with other clubs. We can go to their gym, they can come to our gym. St. George also does a great job. We play a lot of different clubs. We play some from Cedar City. We play people from Mesquite. The way I do it there is I just gave the phone numbers of the other clubs. I gave those phone numbers to our coaches, and likewise, I just gave phone numbers of every coach. I said, you guys just work it out how you want to do your scrimmages, and they have a lot of scrimmages. So that's valuable time. So make sure you're scrimmaging other people. Playing queens, just 3-on-3. It's great, but not all the time, because that's not what you're doing in a game. You're scrimmaging. Finally, there is a final huddle to end practice. Always bring your crew together, recap what we practiced. My gosh, sorry, I have a lot of typos in this, but recap what we practiced, and always do a cheer. And after the cheer, every player is required to come to me, high five, fist pump, or handshake, and say thank you. This is very important to me, guys. This teaches gratitude, this teaches humility, and that will spill into those kids' personal lives. They'll thank their mom and dad more for their dinner. They'll thank for Christmas presents. They'll thank for every little thing that their parents do for them. So I've had a lot of parents come up to me like, my kid's so much more grateful now. What did you do? And I'll say it's that simple thing. You just make sure your kids say thank you at the end of the practice. I say I can't be around to make sure you're doing that with your teams, but just try it. All right. If you don't think it does much, try it and test it. And I promise you it'll do a lot. It'll do a lot for your teams. So that is basically my rules for my practices. I know.
I like that last part.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah. I said I like that last part about having them come to say thank you to you, but I also think it's a really wonderful opportunity for the coaches to express gratitude to the players, because oftentimes we have no idea what's going on in these kids' lives, and there's a really good chance that a good, kind word of encouragement and gratitude from you as coaches goes a long way for them as well.
That is awesome. Thank you, Jonathan. Yeah, I agree. Say thank you for your hard work. And so let's make sure we're doing that as well. Okay. Any other questions or comments about how practices are run? Okay. I know this is kind of like a pre-recorded presentation, so a lot of people are going to see this after the fact. All right, so I just want to go over vitamin drills. So vitamins, you take vitamins every day. So vitamins are just drills that we do every practice. Do these often as a warm-up for your team. You can do any combination of these warm-up drills. And like I said, you do 10, 5 minutes to 20 minutes total. when you're doing these, they're partner passing drills. The coach will tell the players when to switch, so everyone is on the same page. The benefits of this is every player gets a lot of reps. So here's a link to a video that I made. Let's see if this works. Let's go through a list of these. So as you're watching this, yeah, it's just this is a bunch of drills that I like to do with my players. I don't do all of them every week. I pick from these and have them go through them. For example, if my team is not good at diving, I don't think they're diving. They get to practice. We have different levels of how to dive. That's the higher level they pass and dive. Pancakes, all various. Anyway, so you can, yeah, so you can watch. See if I can get back. You can watch that and pick things that you like to use for your team. So those are called vitamins. Here's a lot of the drills that you can do for your vitamins. Kneel down passing, standing passing, side to side passing, deep to short passing. You see all the cardinal directions. Short to deep passing, for front row players, which is requires them pulling off the net. Short to deep passing for the back row if they're taking a deep serve. Diving, you do sprawl, and there's going on your chest. Some call it penguin diving, sprawl diving, and there's different levels of that. You could do diving and do the side roll where you pass the ball to your left to your right, or that's going slightly behind you and you can roll out of it. Pancakes, teaching them to hit the floor and put their hand out and pop that ball up. Setting, there's different levels of setting. There's many more. You can do digging, where as the girl is going from short to deep, or the player's going short to deep, the target can hit a roll shot at them. The target can hit hard at them. You could do tipping, where you toss to yourself and you practice tipping to your partner. You can do roll shots, hitting roll shots to your partner. There's just on and on and on. So many different vitamins that you can do. So that's up on the website or on the YouTube, so you can look at some ideas there. All right. The last thing I want to talk about is just shared court drills. I mean, there's thousands of drills that we can talk about, a lot of things that we're going to talk about, other developmental meetings. But today I want to focus on shared court drills. This is times when you have to share a court with another team. Some people look at this as like a drag, like, oh my gosh, that's going to slow us down. And I say, actually, the contrary. You use this to your advantage. If you're in the gym with one team per court, you can combine from time to time to run shared court drills. That's something that like April and I do when we're in the gym. The 17s are on one court, the 18s are on the other court. A lot of times we'll run a practice all together the whole time. Sometimes, we'll talk and we'll say, hey, let's meet up, at the beginning and halfway through, because I've got a drill I want to share with them. And April is free to do the same thing with me. Like, I want to have the 18s over and we can do a drill there. So, but there are times where you just have to have two teams on one court. Like, I know our 15s and 16s and our 14s are all in the gym at the same time. So they rotate around who has their own court and who shares a court. And sometimes within the practice, they'll switch it up just to maximize that time. So talk with the other coach prior to practice to come up with a plan. Or if you want, if you guys can do it really quick, you just talk before the practice, just to share your lesson plans and how you guys can maximize doing that together. So the purpose of a shared court is there's more gameplay situations with another team. It's very valuable time if spent wisely. It builds energy with more players on your court. And I really believe that, if you have, just 10, 8 players, and just a coach, there's not a lot of energy on that court. You can try, it can be loud, but it's just when there's more players, it's just better. And then I ask this question, you can ask yourself, what other purposes are there for shared court practice? All right, so I'm going to share some drills that I like to do. And I would like you guys to do these when you share a court. There's many of them, but here's just highlighting a few. So the first one is BTA, which is block, transition, hit. So I'll show you really quick what this looks like.
All right, so this is a good drill to do when you're training together. This is a very simple blocking, transition, attack drill. The coach is going to call out who to block. Both sides will demonstrate it. Their attack will be their approach. And the coach will call for the opposite blocking.
So that's a little bit of that. You can watch it on our YouTube to see more. But key points: the middle calls out the hitter. You call the hitter on the other side, and then the middle and pin block together. And we like to say ready, ready, up. So we want them being very vocal, so they're jumping at the same time. So again, these are all very, very important things, because these are going to lead to a good team at tournaments. So demand these things, that they're done, that they're jumping at the same time, that they're having a cadence, or they're saying ready, ready, up. If they don't, just stop the drill, have them all do candy canes, remind them what you expect out of them, and get back at it. Kids are very resilient, that they're not going to get offended. They're there to learn and get better. So make sure you're doing that and teaching them what you expect and what high level teams do. The next thing is blockers land staggered. That's very, very important. I explain that in another drill or another video on YouTube, so you can look that up. Let me go back. The reasons we land staggered is to avoid injury. We can have a tighter block. Our girls can jump up, or our boys can jump up closer, and easier to transition off the net. I don't think this is widely taught in club volleyball. 2 years ago when I was coaching at Dixie State University, I brought this up to the other coaches. They had never heard of it before, and I felt like, wow, I was actually contributing to this university, because I thought, man, this is way over my head. But I shared that with them, and we brought it into our training, and the head coach just loved it. So just look up staggered, landing staggered on our YouTube. Open cross hop to where they start their approach. So when they're pulling off the net, do that footwork, open cross hop, and then put painter's tape at the spot where you want them to transition to where they do their approach. I usually put this down at the beginning of the season, or if I'm doing a clinic, just kids that are brand new to the idea, I put that tape down. I know in St. George and Salt Lake, I think there's painter's tape in your volleyball carts. California, I'm not sure if you have it. If you do, I'd recommend just go grabbing some and just go to the dollar store, they have it. As you're doing this drill, if it's beginners, you have the coach call out the hitter. So you'd yell, right side, middle, oppo. You also yell free ball. There's another one we actually yell pipe. And for pipe, I don't think it's in that video, but in that pipe, we we train our whole front row to come to the middle and block that ball. If they're experienced players, have the actual middle blocker call this out. It makes them feel good. They feel like a leader. They feel like they're in charge of the group. It's a good thing for them. So that is called BTA. It's block transition attack. A really good thing to do if you have a shared court. Free ball drill. This is, I like this one. This is usually something we'll do at the end of practice. If we're not doing a scrimmage, we'll do a free ball drill. I'll play a little bit of this one just so you see how fun this is.
All right, this is a free ball drill. We love to play this game. This is especially something to do with two teams. So we see we have a score being kept. The team that wins, one of the subs initiates the ball by spiking it into the floor, and then the girls have to send it over as their third contact. The team over there also won, so that coach initiated over there.
So that's a little bit of a free ball drill. Some of the key points, beginners. Oh wait, no, that's butterfly drill. Let me go back one. The coaches initiate, that should say ball, sorry, not call. Experienced players, you want the subs to actually initiate the ball. And you can look at that video on how they do that. When a ball is dead, again, I believe in keeping the ball moving a lot. You only get 3 seconds in between. So if the ball dies, you get 3 seconds and you throw the next ball in. It's good to incentivize players. So for example, if the team that's sending the free ball over, if they get an FBK, which we call it a free ball kill, or it could be a first ball kill, they get 2 points. If we can make our free ball, very tough for the other team, we get 2 points. A first ball kill means if that free ball is coming to my team, we should kill that ball because it's an easy overpass. We can bump set hit. So if we get a first ball kill, we get 2 points. If the rally keeps going, then it goes back down to 1 point. 2 points if the middle goes up for a quick set. Or if the set goes to a pin hitter and the team scores, we'll give them 2 points. So we want really good passing on our team. If there's really good passing, then our middle is engaged and they're going up for quicks to try to draw off the blocker on the other team, the middle blocker. And so if they can do that, we'll give them another point. That middle doesn't necessarily have to hit, they just need to go up and our setter could set a pin. Use a scoreboard and make sure you are subbing your people off the substitutes. So you'll see in that video that I just had, I'll wave the players. I just yell wave and then they all know who they're subbing with. I believe you can wave every 5 to 7 points, just keep everybody involved, especially if you have parents watching, they're like, oh, why is my kid sitting so long? Yeah, I've heard that argument and I've asked coaches, I'm like, are you subbing constantly? I don't know if they are, but you need to be subbing constantly so everyone is getting reps in practice. In practice, I believe everybody gets about equal time because every practice is a tryout in my head. But in tournaments, obviously we want our best players that have earned that more play time to get that more play time. If there are no subs, just have the front row go to the back row and vice versa. So you go from back row set to front row set. You have your left front go middle back, your outside switch. There's all, yeah. So that's the free ball drill. It's a lot of fun. You can score. You can play to 15. You can play to 25. Whatever. I don't think you should go higher than that. You can make it where one team starts with 10, the other starts with 0. If the other team that starts at 0 catches up and wins, the other team owes you a bunch of candy canes, something like that. It's very, very fun to just take a lot of these drills and just kind of customize them to whatever your team needs. If your team needs better, back row attacks from the pipe or the A or the D, how about incentivize and say, well, if you guys do that, you get 2 points every time you win from a back row ball. So that's called the free ball drill. This is very standard. A lot of people know this one. It's called the butterfly drill. This is something you could do at the beginning of the practice when you're just doing some of your more passing drills. You can watch the video there, but the key points are the coaches definitely direct the traffic, especially if they're beginners, they don't know where to go. There's no walking from station to station. Challenge setters to get under the ball and quick set to themselves. Tossing. For younger players that can't throw accurately, have the coach toss for them. For experienced players, start with them overhand tossing. If they can control their serve, have them then serve from inside the court. If they can't, have coach serve and hit roll shots. So I'm going to show you a little bit about this.
This is your standard butterfly drill. And another good
here. I'm just trying to mute the YouTube and talk over this. So you'll see these girls that are catching right here at the net. You want to teach them to get under and catch that ball or get there and set that ball instead of just catching it. I'm really big on that because we need fast setters that can go and chase down balls. So you'll see, I'll go farther, and then I've actually asked them to start setting when they catch this ball. So let's see how she does.
The coaches are helping. New friends.
They're still just catching her for the most part.
When I run the show, I teach. So right there, you just see how that butterfly.
You can flip it. You can flip instead of having the left side pass, you can have the right side pass. Here, I've got the coaches initiating the ball by hitting just roll shots at these girls.
The kids tossing the ball. They just give it to the coach.
So there's a lot of different ways to do this one. But again, I like that drill. It's there's a lot of chatter, a lot of girls working together. So that's the butterfly drill. I think that's the last one. Yeah, last one, and then we'll be done, guys. Is we want to do queen of the court. Obviously, if it's a guys team, you won't call it king of the court. Or just nicknames, we'll just call it we're playing queens or we're playing kings, and they know what that means. So there are so many varieties of how to play this game. And you can make this so fun. You can do 3 versus 3. You do 3 versus 3 with permanent setters, 4 versus 4. In a diamond position where you have 1 setter, 2 hitters, and then a back row attacker. You can do 2 versus 2. You can do different versions of this where you can only play the game from the inside the 10-foot line. So I have the short court back row here. So this is saying game can be played in front of the 10-foot line or behind the 10-foot line. If you want them to practice more tipping and more controlled ball, you do short court queens. If you want them really hammering, hitting back row attacks, do back row queens. Coach toss-in. Use this if players aren't consistently serving over the net, or you want the game to go faster. I typically like coach toss-in just to keep the ball moving, but serving is totally fine. You can do serving. Players serve if they're consistent. If not, coach can serve. In my courts, I teach that if players miss 3 serves in a row, they do candy canes, push-ups, or they run. Chaos. This is a good option if you want to pick it up a notch, but it's also good if parents are watching. So I'm going to show you. We just did this, I think, yesterday.
This game,
yeah, this was actually just yesterday.
Chaos version. So So obviously you can do 3
And
on
you'll
3
see
again
the team
before
that wins has to come over. They sprawl dive to their
new
spot.
team comes on.
Um,
Coach
when the coach
pops.
slaps the ball and yells up, then those
What I
girls
like to
pop
do,
up and play the ball.
especially
So
if
this is
you
more
want to
high
get some
tempo,
good
high
conditioning,
tempo,
is you do
keeps
chaos
them,
version. So
you know,
they have to
gets
get
them a little
down
more
to the
gassed.
chest. Coach will
So
say
chaos
pop or
is a
slap the
great
ball,
idea.
and those girls can then
So
get
let's
up
go a
on
little
it.
farther.
And then at Beach Street, we like to
I think
keep
this
the
is
ball
our
moving.
little
We like to keep the girls
15s and
active.
14s and
We don't like a
13-year-olds.
lot of standing.
They're cute.
We want them getting as many touches
You know,
as
they're
possible.
they're not playing at the highest level yet, but this just shows you how to play chaos
Little
queens.
shots with these girls, keep them digging. And if this team over here starts winning a ton,
All right. We're about at an hour, which I always promise that we'll just do this for an hour. So that is it. That's my last slide for the night. So just to recap, we went over the rules of practice. We talked about the vitamins, how that should be used in your practices. We also talked about drills that we can do when we're sharing a court with another team, or we're in the gym with another team and we want to combine and do some drills with them together. There's more drills, but those are just some that I wanted to highlight for you. I think that is all. So I can open it up to questions. And we can just, if you have any questions about any of this, we can discuss it. So does anyone have anything they'd like to ask or say or comment on? Okay. Well, that will conclude our meeting for the day. And thanks for participating. I will make sure I get this as a file so you can so everyone can watch this later. But thanks for all the hard work you're doing, and thanks for taking on this very special role to help these kids with learning competitive volleyball. And I'm always here to help. And let me know if you need anything. And go Beach, and good luck with the rest of your week.